Hello, David Bradley here from the box room. So I'm starting to try to boot up the Amiga without having to tap it. I'm going to see. But I did get some stuff out of the car. So I thought I would check it out. See what it is that was there. Oh, and I remember the other day I said I could sure use a mouse pad. And look, there's a mouse pad. Double-sided. Firm. Wow, never used, I think. One side is gray, one side is dark. Or kind of goldy. Let's see here. Oh, well, it didn't start up right. Let's try again. And here we have a soft and flexible selection of mouse pads. Oh, look, this one has a Commodore logo. The chicken lips is here. There it is. No. Okay. Good. Mouse pads. What else? Oh, wow. Look at that. Mouse math. Accurate tracking. Washable top. Helps promote longer mouse life. Two of them. Value match. Made in Canada to North American standards. Cool. What else is in this bag? Oh my. Okay, it seems it's a bag of mouse pads. Green. Gray. What is this? Micro mouse. Okay. This one's kind of a plasticky thing. Comspec. Holy, look at that. Comspec. So, certainly we have no shortage of mouse pads. I'll try and restart that yet again. And see. So, it's funny when I look at these, I think back to Huh? Okay. Have a lovely day. We have Comspec Computers Communications Service. And it was on Wingold. I wonder when this is from. But also 844 Wilson Avenue, down to Ontario, between Dufferin and Keele. Indeed, for a while, retail and teacher sales. Oh, yes. For a while, I actually worked at Comspec. And it went okay, but it really wasn't my thing. They're like, oh, yes, you have to wear a tie. Da, 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 da. It wasn't my thing. But they made good stuff. They did good things. And also their products. It's funny, I remember seeing some Amiga 1000 memory expanders that just the cases on them are just almost like somebody went out in the back to one of those big metal crunching things and basically just crunch something together that kind of fit. And if you had two of them, they might not exactly line up and sit nice and whatever. But Spec had, besides the products that were inside, the cases were good. The cases were good. They were well made, nicely finished, nicely logoed. They, like, the fitment was good. They would line up nicely. They made good stuff. And here we go. But I was not trying to do this. Actually, anyway, from what I know also, ComSpec is still, like, they adapted over the years. They started, I believe, as communication specialists. And they were into ham radios and CB radios and scanners. And they would indeed modify scanners so that people could listen in to the police things. And was this completely kosher? I don't know. But they were different days, different times. They were indeed. My brother was into CB radio stuff. I got into it a little bit. Never had a massive tower or anything, but it's funny. I remember that a neighbor of ours who we grew up around the corner from, there was some radio she had. I'm not sure if it mattered where she had it tuned, but his CB broadcasts would come in over her radio. All right, so this is 5 or 6 times that I have rebooted this, and it has not come up, but we're not doing Amiga things today. I'm just trying to see if this will ever crank up on its own without me beating it with pliers. I am, and I suppose I should count these. 1, 2, 3. Now this is an interesting one. These are like soft, squishy things. This is, oh, this one says on a cutting pad and micro mouse. And it has on this side, it does actually have sort of like fine measuring, for which I suppose you could use to cut things. It says inches and centimeters. Interesting. So we have 4, 5, 6. This is the one I'm likely to use. Why? Because it has the Commodore logo on it. 7, 8, 9. Although these two, 10, 11. These are something. They're rigid, and I don't know what's inside, but I'll have to experiment. I think I'll set one of these aside and see. And of course, so far, it's not happening when I suspect before. When I was doing this is dangerous. Danger, danger. And here's the weird disc that I found at least one good thing on. I'm going to set a mouse pad down here. This gray one with its kind of solidness about it. And see. Oh, well, of course. Can't test it until the machine comes to life. And the machine is not coming to life. But it feels good. And indeed, they did, they would say, oh yes, it'll keep the mouse cleaner. It does, because if you're just on a table, it's funny how much little stuff gets picked up by a mouse. And you have to keep your balls clean. I should test a bunch of these and do some fixing on them. I'm sure there are people out there looking for tank mouses somewhere. Especially these. Ugh. Oh no, am I going to have to hit this thing? I think maybe it might be better to turn it on and off. Give it a little jolt. Anyway, these mice, I often wonder why didn't they put Amiga? Now they did put Amiga on here, but these are for the 1000, and they have the funky end. So specific to the 1000. They do. And I think they are highly prized in the world. But I will have to get a 1000 here, or okay. I'm going to turn this off and let it rest for a moment. Or the other thing I can do is get a joystick port extender cable, of which I know I have some here, and plug these in and make sure, see what they're working, see if they need cleaning, see if they have button troubles, see what's what. Alright, so is this going to fire up? I don't know. I just don't know. Before, when I was first getting it going, it did seem to be more likely to come to life. But it doesn't matter. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about mouse pads. And, yes, ComSpec. They had, like they had the store, they also had the well, the main sort of industrial place where they made things, and they made all kinds of things: memory expanders, SCSI controllers. For the PET, they made the microshare, which once again, I remember seeing some of the things that other people made, and they were um, just not so neat. They functioned, but they were kind of ugly. All right, let's try this. I'm listening. Maybe I'll use the rubber part. Hang on. Listening for hard drive noises. Did that have anything to do? I don't know. I know that the power supply needs the fan. But it's tempting to open up the power supply, disconnect the fan, or maybe put a switch on it so I can actually hear what's what. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think it's coming to life. Nope. That is pestering. It is. And I still wonder if there is a way to put just a little bit of oil in there. Just a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, back to mouse pads. If, of course, this would boot up. I could see if this seems to work better. And at the moment, look, it's a Commodore mouse pad. I'll put that down here too. I have kind of got this all squirreled up in that. I've got discs on top of mouse pads. And these discs, I guess I gotta check out each one and see what's what. And then we have what should be a workbench disc. Why? Because, well, there's the label. So, mouse pads. Okay, you can sit there. Don't fall down. Don't knock anything down. Ooh. And the mouse pad does seem to work well. I'm going to move the Commodore one. They both seem good. I'm tempted to think that I like the more rigid one better. But they both seem to perform well. There we go. Anyway, yes, I will get to testing more mice. And of course, I will, as I have things that I'm sure of, or more sure of, I will indeed put things up for sale. Because I'm sure there are people out there who are using a 2000 mouse or a 500 mouse on a 1000 saying, oh, if only I had the one with a little twisty end. Utility. Look, there's a clock. Isn't it lovely? Now. Oh. Well, that is not so impressive. Digital 2. No, analog better. Mode. Seconds on. Cool. How do I... Well, it's funny. State. Mode. I guess somewhere else. Boy, I gotta remember how to do this. See, without the battery, in the battery backed up thing, the time is wrong. So where? Preps. Maybe in preps. Do we set the time there? Preferences. Ah, yes. Now this will not stay, but that's okay. Do I have my other phone? I do. Okay. Well, that didn't go well. Oh, I see. You can do each number. Isn't that beautiful? So now we have the time, and it's better. And it's got the second hand. What a great thing to have an advanced computer sitting there. Yeah. There we are. Displaying the time. All right. So, if you're looking for a mouse pad, I have some, and they are. They're both good. They all have their little texture thing. The Commodore one, of course, maybe I'll take down to the pet room to keep it with the Commodore things. But this hard one here, it works fine. Better than the table. It does. I don't know what the 24-hour mode makes any. It doesn't make any difference on that. Seconds on, date on. Oh, yes, it's the 11th of October, 1978. Great. Alarm. Ooh. Alarm on. Set. I wonder, what does the alarm sound like? 8. $49. What time? Oh, I think we're coming up. I think we're now at 8:48 and 40 seconds. I wonder what the alarm sounds like. This could be handy. It could be. This could be it. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. That'd sure wake me up. One beep. I wonder if it keeps on alarming. I tend to think that it doesn't. Well, that's about it. One little beep. Oh yeah, you could just have a little clock there. Funny that my son was telling me that there's a lot of people of his age that don't know how to read a clock like this. Here we come. It's going to beep again. How exciting. Wait for it. That's it. That's all. Well, so that was one bag of stuff from the car from the World of Commodore. And I still have yet to get this machine or this hard drive to wake up. And it does seem I'm having to smack it excuse me, with much more vigor to get it going. So perhaps I will indeed see. I seem to remember. Come on, hard drive. Come on, hard drive. You can do it. Nope. I seem to remember, and I don't have another hard drive handy, but there is kind of, I think there might be a little bit of access to the very bottom that maybe I could squirt something into. We'll see about that. Anyway, things I intend to do as time goes on are to try and clean the heads on floppy drives. I need to investigate this drive here. This was a weird thing that when I had this one plugged in, I could seem to use them both. When I had this one plugged in, nothing would work. So there's obviously something squirrely with that. Squirrely, I say. Well, that's too bad. Too bad. Alright, I'm going to wait until the drive light goes out. Pop this out. Turn this off, but not all the way. There we go. I don't like to turn things on quickly, but I will. I'll just see. If anything comes to life. Funny, there are some hard drives that make some really good noises. It's sort of like these satisfying sort of. But alas, we're not there. Oh dear. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for coming and seeing the mouse pads and my continued frustration with this hard drive. Perhaps I will see about popping it out. And there's a plastic cover on the bottom. It doesn't look like it should be too hard to get off. And then see what I can see. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I will explore more World of Commodore treasures, perhaps in the next episode. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.